First thing I'd like to say is congratulations. This is an honor for you. It's an honor for me to be here and share this day with you. Congratulations. Thank you for having me. Thank you for hosting me. This is my second time to Morocco, first time to Rabat. Actually, the first time I was in Morocco, I was in Marrakesh, because at that time, NASA was still flying space shuttles, and if we had a problem on launch, we would abort the launch, and you're going so fast, even right after launch, you couldn't land back in the US, so you started looking across the ocean for places to land. And one of those places that was the Mercy landing field was Ben Guerir. I know I'm saying it wrong, but it's outside of Marrakesh. And we would send folks over here to prepare the airfield in case it was needed. Fortunately, it was never needed, but I'm very happy to be back, and I've had a wonderful taste of your culture and of your food for the past couple days. But the real treasure has been meeting the people, and I've really enjoyed that. I want to just talk about two different things, opportunity and vision. And first, let me just talk about opportunity. I did have the opportunity to go into space. It was wonderful up there. Every time I had the opportunity, I'd look out the window. And I do remember flying over Morocco, because I remember a pass we did during the daytime, and flew over the Straits of Gibraltar, and it was a wonderful sight, seeing the vastness of the Sahara Desert. Africa, both day and night, is a very beautiful place from space, and I'm sure at some point somebody, maybe in this room, will have the chance to see it for themselves. But sometimes it's the things you don't see from space that really change you a little bit. And one of the things you don't see is you don't see borders. You see vegetation, you can see cities, you can see rivers, you see a wonderful array of stars, but you don't see the borders. And I want to challenge you all to not see any borders in your future. You've been given an opportunity here with this education. For me, I understand the value of the education. I was the first person in my family to ever have the opportunity to go to college. And I seized that. I worked very hard in high school and ended up going to college and getting a degree in electrical engineering. For me, that was more of the technical kind of orientation. But then another opportunity presented itself, as sometimes they do. I also enjoyed flying airplanes, so I went to the US Navy and asked them if I could train to fly their airplanes, and my grades were good enough. They looked at my grades, looked at my degree, and said, sure, we'll give you the opportunity to do that. So I did. I ended up going through flight training, and I flew F-18s off the aircraft carriers. Never had the opportunity to come to the Mediterranean, which is what we always want to do. I was more the Persian Gulf and the Indian Ocean kind of guy. But again, another opportunity presented itself after I flew F-18s for a while, and that was to become what's called a test pilot. And that's where you take your education, in my sense, it was the technical side, and I was marrying that with my ability to fly airplanes, to make them fly better, farther, faster, all those things. So I seized that opportunity. And then I found out as I became a test pilot that all the shuttle pilots are also test pilots. So once again, another opportunity presented itself. So I applied to NASA and got an interview down there. And y'all are going out in the workplace, and this was the strangest interview I ever had. They asked me one question. They said, tell me about yourself since high school. So that's, you have an hour, and they give you an hour to talk about yourself. Well, I figured they knew about my resume. I figured they kind of knew my technical achievements as a pilot, so I chose to talk about the other things that I enjoyed. The things like, I grew up in Alaska, so the things I enjoyed doing in the snow, some of the hobbies I had and all that. They did ask me, what can I bring to NASA? What assets do you have? What skills? They know you can fly an airplane if you're a graduate of a test pilot school. But they wanted to know personally things like leadership, vision, commitment, courage, things like that. Things that are hard to train in the classroom, and you learn those outside with your friends and doing other interests. So I was successful in the interview. They asked me to come down, and I trained to become a pilot for the space shuttle. And I was fortunate enough to get the opportunity to fly as pilot on the STS-116, which was up to the International Space Station back in 2006. I soon retired from NASA and the Navy thereafter, and then I started pursuing other interests. And this is where the vision started kicking in a little bit. I had some background in space. At that time, it was all kind of building the space station and sending astronauts up there. Governments, Russia was going up there, the US was going up there. We were taking professional astronauts from other countries, and now China's even going up there. But then this group, maybe it's 15 years ago, maybe 12, 15 years ago, got together and said, aha, maybe we can turn this into a business. Maybe we can start making money in space. This is not where people like me are good. This is where people like you come in. This is where people right now, and there's a whole lot of companies, particularly in the US, but there are also some in other places, they're looking at space and saying, what can I do to turn a profit, to turn space into a business, to commercialize space? And that's now called vision, kind of an uncanny sense of foresight, to see something that's not right now and to make it true. So commercial space is a big industry. There's technical leaders out there, but there's also a need to turn it into a business, because unlike the government, they don't have to make money in space. They can keep sending people, but for a business to survive, they have to turn a profit in the end, or else they close down. And we're at a position right now in history that's very similar to what aviation was like 100 years ago. We had the ability to fly. People started putting ailerons instead of warping wings. They started making conventional landing gear instead of skis. They put one wing instead of two on. They started making airplanes fly better, fly farther. Technicians, engineers, test pilots like me did that, but then it took visionaries to come in and say, boy, you know what? Maybe if I went to the government and said I can carry the mail from St. Louis to Boston, for a nominal fee, I could turn that into a business. So things like that started happening. They made the airplane so efficient that individuals with a vision could then start using the airplane to make money. Getting back to vision, this is one of the reasons I just crossed paths with the American University of Leadership. I met the organization very recently, last year, Dr. Otero specifically, and we started talking about, boy, space and business are coming together. How can we take advantage of that? Well, he came back and talked to the board and the other members of the university, and they came up with a vision. We can offer a course here that talks about space tourism, and we can focus it from the management side. What does it take to manage a business now sending tourists into space? And they developed the first ever space tourism course that they're going to begin offering, I believe, in the fall.
Exactly.
In the fall, and it will be part of the master's, the MBA program, and it's going to be a wonderful course. And I've been fortunate enough to work with them over the winter to develop this course, offering some technical insight about some of the things that commercial space needs from a business standpoint, some of the things that leadership, some of the qualities of leadership that are also needed. It's very unique challenges in space. So that's very exciting to be a part of that, to be a part of the vision, to seize the opportunity to press ahead and help you teach the commercialization of space. No other place I know of is going to be doing it. It's wonderful. So just remember those things. Opportunity, whether you make it or whether it finds you, always make sure you seek it out. Never stop exploring, never stop learning, and always look to the sky and reach for the stars. Thank you.
Thank you, Billy, for sharing those thoughts. Une petite traduction qui est assez importante. Prochainement, AUL aux États-Unis va lancer pour la toute première fois, et c'est une première fois au monde, un programme en tourisme spatial. Et c'est une grande réussite pour l'équipe d'AUL aux États-Unis.